So I'm sure we've all heard of the placebo effect, but have we thought about what implications this has on how we live our lives? I reckon we can draw some inferences from this phenomena on how our mind and body works together. So the placebo effect is basically the phenomena that your brain can convince your body that a fake treatment is the real thing and in do so stimulate healing. So for example, you're sick, you go to a doctor, the doctor prescribes some pill to you saying that this will fix you, you take the pill, it fixes your ailment, but it turns out that the pill was just a sugar pill. There was no active compound in that pill. However, you, the person taking the pill, has no idea and you genuinely believe that the pill had the medicine that you needed. So you believe the pill is the real medication, and it is that belief which leads to the healing. So it is standard procedure when testing the effectiveness of any drug to have at least two groups, one group that receives the placebo and one group that receives the actual drug, so that they can be compared to see if the drug actually works or if the drug has no significant impact other than the placebo effect. So the placebo effect has healed people from a spectrum of a sugar pill to overcome a mild back pain to full-blown placebo surgeries. And yes, you heard that right, a placebo surgery. So basically the doctor knocks you out, cuts you up, does fuck all, sews you back up and lets you on your way. A 2014 review of 53 trials actually found that the sham placebo surgeries had some positive effect 2/3 of the time and were nearly as effective as the actual surgery 50% of the time. So let's think about the principle behind the placebo effect. You believe that you're getting healed, and in believing that, you actually get healed. So what this suggests is that our perceptions of what is happening to us can actually change the way our body performs internally. Now, obviously, something is at play here. You're not being healed by the sugar pills. The likely answer to this is that belief actually accelerates the body's own healing processes. It is your conscious mind communicating with your autonomous systems and kicking them into action. But for some reason, these processes don't kick in until you have the requisite internal perception. I reckon if you can actively tap into this mental mode, you've got something. You've got a new avenue to explore your body and mind and optimize it. So let's apply this principle in the context of healthy living. When you're living a healthy lifestyle, you're exercising, you're eating well, but you're also changing your internal mental state. That is, you start to believe that you're a healthy person. A healthy person believes himself or herself to be healthy, and they also believe that they have all the benefits that come with being healthy, such as improved aesthetics, better physical capabilities, improved immunity, etc., etc. So based off the placebo principle, the perception that you're healthy can also actually make you healthier. So for example, they did a very interesting study on hotel maids. So they surveyed the hotel maids and they found out that most of them believed that they did not exercise despite their job actually involving a lot of movement. The maids were actually doing a lot of exercise because their work was so strenuous, but they were not aware of how much activity they were partaking in. So in the study, they told half the maids about the work they were doing, about how many calories it burnt and how they were actually quite active, and the other half they told nothing. After a month, the researchers found that the maids who had been informed of their activity actually saw improvements in a number of health measures such as blood pressure, weight, hip to waist ratio. So in this case, by merely being told that they were exercising, which they were, they improved the benefits of their exercise. Now, some of you shortcut seekers might think from this that you could just tell yourself you're healthy and the placebo effect will take care of it and you don't actually have to do anything. Well, I dare you. Try and feel genuinely healthy after eating burgers, fries and milkshakes for a whole week and just lying in bed. See how healthy you feel. So the way I see it, you have to live healthy to believe you're healthy. Even the maids, they were exercising, they just were not aware of it. And once they became aware of it is when they saw greater benefits. My point is that the strength of the belief is important. Now, there are a number of studies that have found that the placebo effect is increased when the circumstances increase confidence in the process that you're undertaking. So, for example, a placebo capsule is more effective than a placebo tablet. A placebo injection is more effective than a placebo capsule, and a placebo treatment is more effective than a placebo injection. Even the way the doctor talks to you affects the placebo effect. If the doctor comes across as warm and professional, the placebo effect is actually strengthened. So the stronger your perception, the stronger the placebo effect, And in my opinion, to create a strong perception of your own health, you have to embody the ideal of health. Now, if this wasn't enough to get you to start being healthy, to use the placebo effect to your advantage, maybe the opposite of the placebo effect, which is the nocebo effect, might scare you into becoming healthier. So the nocebo effect is basically that if you take something that you believe is going to have a negative impact on you, it actually increases the likelihood that that negative impact will actually occur. So for example, they've actually done some studies where they've told people that they've rubbed poison ivy on their hand, whereas it was just a regular leaf, and it's actually resulted in a rash occurring. So basically, this is the opposite in that a negative belief is creating a negative outcome in the body. So now let's take this back to the context of healthy living. So when you're not living and eating healthy, you start to become mentally aware of the fact that you're not healthy. Your internal narrative becomes, oh, I'm unhealthy. And this internal belief can actually increase the chances of you suffering the consequences of having bad health. So in conclusion, I reckon we can use the principle behind the placebo effect to our advantage by embodying the ideal of health. When we become healthy, we also acquire the genuine belief that we're healthy, which in turn can actually make us healthier. Now, I have to concede that this video is kind of speculative because we don't entirely understand the placebo effect. But I reckon there's no harm in using it as motivation to get healthier. On the other hand, if the nocebo is what I think it is, then I wouldn't want to be on the wrong side of that. That's all for today's video, guys. I will catch you next time. Cheers.